Welcome to Dose of Social, your recipe for social media success. I'm Lindsay Mauk,
I'm Kayla Pearlstein,
and
and
this
this
is
is Dose
Dose
of
of
Social.
Social.
We are super excited for today's guest. We have Tracy Davison, who is the founder of 317 Mastermind. Tracy and I actually met at another networking group here in Nashville, Tennessee, and she has become a really amazing referral partner of mine. So we're super excited to have you on today, Tracy.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
So we would love for you to introduce yourself and kind of share a little bit more about your background and what you're currently doing.
Okay, sounds good. In my past life, my first career was in education, public education. I was a high school Spanish teacher for 10 years, and then I was a high school principal for another 10, and then I was a superintendent of schools for 5 minutes.
Wow.
Not really, but not very long. So I ended up deciding to leave public education in 2016 to pursue a passion of starting my own like coaching and consulting business and to be warmer. So I worked in central and upstate New York in public education and moved to Nashville, Tennessee in 2016 to be closer to family, get warmer, and start my own business.
Love that. So you're the founder of 317 Mastermind. Tell us a little bit about that and what you do.
Yes. So 317 Mastermind was founded in April of 2024. I pitched the idea to 23 business owners and said, look, I know that entrepreneurial isolation is a real thing. The way that we turned around a high school that I was working with back in my public education days was through having mentors, coaches, and a community. We didn't call it a mastermind, but it really was a mastermind. And I think we can take the same principles and processes that we used in turning around a severely failing school district and, use those to support entrepreneurs and business owners because, we've all heard the expression, leadership is lonely at the top. And so last April in 2024, I pitched the idea of building small groups of 7 or 8 business owners who meet once a month for 3 hours. Everybody brings one topic that they want help with to grow their business. It's not always a problem. It could be an opportunity, a challenge, a project. It could be you're stuck in your own way. It could be an accountability thing, or it could be a serious challenge. Most of the time it's a challenge in business, but it can also be a personal challenge that people might be having that they just need a trusted group of advisors to help them with. So 317 means we meet for 3 hours once a month. Everybody brings one topic they want help with and solutions to that day. And you are surrounded by 7 other CEOs who get it or understand or have resources to help you through it. And you walk away with a plan. So that's the main part of 317. There are a couple other perks that we can get into if you are interested as well.
I love that. I actually don't know if I knew what the 317 stood for, so that's amazing.
So here's the funny thing. The night before I pitched it to these business owners, I didn't know what the 3, the 1, or the 7 was going to stand for either. Like it was so like, just new. And all I knew is that it was something I was supposed to do. You know how you're supposed to do something. It's just been one of those, businesses. And so the night before, I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to say about this 3, the 1, and the 7? I've got these 23 high power business owners, very successful CEOs who are taking a lot of time out of their day to come and hear me out. But that morning it like clicked. Wow. It's 3 hours, one topic, and you've got 7 CEOs around you.
That's amazing.
I love that.
What would you say makes 317 different from other entrepreneur groups or masterminds?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think there are so many other wonderful masterminds out there. And, I think people just really need to think about what they want to get out of a mastermind and in order to determine which one is the best fit for you. But some of the things that make us different are the fact that we are facilitator led. So a lot of masterminds are member led. And that has its place too. And that's beneficial because then everybody knows what it's like to run to keep the mastermind moving. But what I was hearing is that a lot of people who are in masterminds or had been in masterminds that were member led really wanted someone else to be that point person who would keep people on the clock, keep the conversation going, stop the person who's going to go over on their time, um, and just be the communicator in between meetings and things like that. So we are facilitator led, number one. Number two, we do not have any overlapping industries in the same group. And number three, while the entrepreneurs who are members of 317 are busy doing what they do best, selling their product, serving their customers, we are working behind the scenes, doing sales outreach for you on LinkedIn. So that you will have a minimum of 10 great leads on average every single week in your inbox. And we actually then start the sales conversation with those folks for our members. So, you get the community, you get the sales outreach with LinkedIn, and we do a fun social event every month also.
That's awesome.
That's
and
great. That could be another 3. I love it.
Yeah. So kind of segueing in, you said you help members with LinkedIn. I'd love to talk with you a little bit more about LinkedIn because I know you specialize over there as well. Why do you believe LinkedIn is the number one platform for business growth, especially for entrepreneurs?
Well, I forgot how many millions of people are on LinkedIn, first of all, but it's definitely the world's number one business platform. And I think people can get confused, like, oh my goodness, I need to be on all the things. Well, yeah, sure. If you have worked up to that point, absolutely. But if you want to just pick one platform to, get established on, LinkedIn is definitely an excellent choice. 90% or more of the information on LinkedIn is accurate because, you created your own profile. Someone else didn't go in and create it for you. You can download your contacts. You can build your database, and people go to LinkedIn expecting to connect, build relationships, learn, and grow. And they also they're looking for solutions. And so a lot of those solutions come in the form of, buying your services, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely the best professional network out there. And I think you just need to know your customers. Like if your customers are not hanging out on LinkedIn, then that's fine. But let's say you own a painting business. People are probably not going to go to LinkedIn to look for a painter. But who do you need to connect to as the owner of a painting business? You might want to connect with all the other general contractors in your area or other concrete people or roofers or who else is working with people who might need paint jobs that you need to be connected to. And that's where LinkedIn comes into play.
Yeah, definitely. LinkedIn can be very powerful for businesses of any type, just depends on how you use it. And Tracy, for someone who's just getting started on LinkedIn, what are the first 2 to 3 things that you recommend they should do to optimize their profile on the platform?
Yeah. Make it easy for people to know who you are, what problems you solve, what you do, and how to reach you, how to contact you. That's it.
I'll say, so Tracy actually called me out a little bit on my personal LinkedIn profile just because I don't spend enough time on my personal pages sometimes, and we put clients first. But she gave me some really great tips, and so we would kind of love to put her on the spot very briefly to look at Lindsay's LinkedIn profile
Dun, dun, dun.
and see if
No
there's
problem.
anything she should do to optimize.
Yeah.
Should I share my screen right now?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, yeah.
So wow, you've got over 3,000 followers on here. That's great. Let me ask you this: what is your goal on LinkedIn?
So my goal on LinkedIn is really to have a place to connect with all of the people that I know in a professional capacity and have that all in one place. So I'm mainly using it as a database and just a networking opportunity. So I would say just to let people know what I'm doing in the social media and marketing world. And I promote the podcast, and yeah, that's about it. I make sure I have the right keywords in there, but you might tell me otherwise.
Oh, I know it's intimidating, isn't it? Don't be. The cool thing is you get to show up how you want to be known on LinkedIn. So some of the people I work with own multiple businesses and they're like, well, I don't know how. So you get to choose how you want people to know you. So when people think of Lindsay, what's the one or two things that, that they're going to think of with you? So if you're looking to connect and promote the podcast, I would include something in the headline, which is located right below your name, about the podcast. I would definitely make that addition. And then if you could click on see the words contact info in blue. Yes. Click on that. Again, we want to make it easy for people to connect with us. So Lindsay, if you have a calendar link for people to get onto or I'm assuming that's the correct email. If not, you can update that. If you have a phone number that people can call you at, if you've got a website, you can add that there. And you can also, under the address, you can add your address, but like if you don't want to add your actual address, you could say based out of San Diego, California, serving clients with their marketing needs nationwide.
Got it.
Yeah. So you can do that. You can also add, see down below where it says add a website. Yep. So if you add a website, in fact, you can go right ahead and do that right now.
Let's do it. I can add my Calendly link as well.
Yeah. Yep. You can.
Love it.
Actually, I'm going to just do it later for the sake of time, but yeah, that's literal. And then you would just hit that little drop down to, say work or something, whatever it is, or other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
And then if you scroll down to your about section, because that's the next place that people are going to look. So it used to be that on LinkedIn, we would do LinkedIn almost like a resume, and it would be all about our skills and our background. Well, now people want to feel like you're talking to them. So like, for example, if you're looking to connect with business owners, founders, entrepreneurs, you could call them out in the very first line. Hey, business owners, founders, and entrepreneurs, and to talk to them, are you looking for a motivated, results-driven, blah, blah, blah. So when people see your about section, they're going to see the first 3 lines. So you want to grab their attention in those first 3 lines and to make it about them. I don't know. It's very frustrating from my perspective to find marketing experts that can project manage and are excellent at what they do and are great communicators. If I'm looking at someone's about section and they're saying that they actually do those things, that's going to grab my attention. So, and then I would definitely recommend down at the very bottom, like, I love that you've got your specialties. I love that you've got your areas of focus. That's great because that's helping people say, yeah, I need that. I need that.
Yeah.
That's great. I would recommend adding at the very bottom after specialties, how to contact you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Great
Yeah.
feedback. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, of course, posting regularly, which obviously you do a fantastic job at that. Do you have a featured section up above?
Yes.
Yep, right there. Yeah, I think that's great. People can see you in action. That is outstanding. And then the only other recommendation I would have is if you scroll down to your skills. Yep, you've got your experience all complete. Look at that. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yep, keep going. Yep. Volunteering. Okay, skills. So online marketing and product marketing. Would you say those are the 2 top skills you want people to know you for?
I would say online marketing is pretty broad, so that encompasses a lot of things. So yeah, I could probably spruce this up quite a bit.
Yeah, there you go. So it used to be they would show the top 3 skills. Now they show the top 2 skills.
Okay.
And so if you want to just think about that, and then you would be able to move the two most important ones to the top, and then just hit the back button. By the word skills. Yep. And then the last thing would be recommendations. So always try to get recommendations. And the best way to get recommendations is to give recommendations.
Yep. Right on. Cool. Well, thank you so much for that on the spot feedback. Appreciate that.
You are very welcome.
All right.
That was cool.
I know. I'm like, I need to take notes, but we are recording this. So
Right. Yes. And one step at a time. Like, it'd be so cool to just make a little booklet of LinkedIn, like page 1, do this.
Yeah.
Get a profile picture.
Totally. Okay. So one thing that you mentioned on my profile is you mentioned to add your calendar link if someone wants to book with you. What are some ways that someone can go from just connecting to someone on LinkedIn, like just adding them as a connection, to actually turning those people and conversations into actual calendar appointments for their business?
Yes, that is such a great question. And I will tell you this from personal experience. Like, so I first got onto the LinkedIn bandwagon like 4 years ago. I was doing a short business development sales role for a tax attorney in Knoxville. And I did not want to make 60 cold calls a day. So LinkedIn became a like major source of where we got our business. So we were looking to connect with owners of construction companies. So step one is know who your target audience is. You know, business owners in the healthcare space in San Diego and Nashville and whatever. So the first step is to know who you want to target. And you want to be in the driver's seat of actively reaching out to those people. So here's what you can do. You can send up to 100 connection invites every single week to your target market. That way you're taking the lead on who you're connecting to, because you probably get a lot of people who try to connect with you and you just know they're going to sell you, or they're like just not related at all. Like, I say no to everybody who tries to connect with me unless they're a business owner in Nashville that I want to know.
Okay.
That's it. You can also go into your settings and like turn off all the recruiter stuff so that recruiters aren't getting you. But so the first step is know who you want to go after, and then be intentional about taking, literally it only takes like 30 minutes maximum every single week to find those 100 people. So you just set the filter, you go in, type in like CEO, second degree connections, put your target areas. If you want a specific industry, choose that industry and hit search. And you should come up with like a couple thousand people to connect to. Then you want to go in and find the people who have connected to you, and you want to start talking to them. And people don't want to be pitched. They don't want to hear about what you do. They just want a thank you. Like, we don't want it, right? We don't want someone's calendar link in that first message, or even the second, or probably the third. It's a conversation. It's like me going up to someone in a coffee shop. You wouldn't like ask them to marry you immediately. Right. Got me some conversation.
Stranger things have happened.
Oh, the stories we could tell. So I would just say, hey, Kayla, thank you so much for connecting. Hope 2025 is off to a great start. I look forward to learning more about you here. Tracy, and then I'd put my email and my phone number. And then what you're going to do is sit back and wait for people who respond, because now you've got a conversation. And if you have a conversation, now you can go back to their profile, see if if you think there's an opportunity there to either do business together or maybe become a collaborator or whatnot, and just start the conversation. That's like 30 minutes every day. And you want to like focus on the relationship and serving them, like helping them get something that they want, and it will come back to you.
Wow, those are all really great tips. Thank you so much for sharing. And if you are listening and you're someone who does not know who your target audience is, we have a great episode on that called Hitting the Mark, how to identify your target audience. So for those listening who are unsure about that, go ahead and listen to that episode after this.
So, Tracy, on top of everything you just mentioned, what are some small ways that business owners can consistently talk to people in their target market every week without sounding salesy? I know we've talked about this before, and how people want to connect with you. They seem like great connections, you accept, and they immediately come at you with that sales message, which is just kind of cringy. So what can people do to kind of not sound salesy or immediately give an ick to someone?
Yeah, the no ick-free communication. Yeah. So I think definitely setting this aside. I know it sounds so simple, but putting it on your calendar, because that's like the biggest mistake I see that people make is you've got this gold mine of LinkedIn, of professionals who are looking for solutions that you might be the person that can help them. But people don't put it on their calendar. So to block out, like, pick your time. If it's going to be 30 minutes once a week, if it's going to be an hour once a week, if it's going to be 3 times a week, like what I do is I block out 30 minutes every day for LinkedIn, because it's the number one platform for me to prospect on, basically, and connect with great people. And so, and without sounding salesy, like, just read it back to yourself and say, is this something that I would respond to or not? So if you focus on being helpful instead of being salesy, and make it about them and not about you.
Mhm.
And like I see people who will, start a conversation and they'll say, "Oh yeah, my sister lives in Nashville." Oh great. Instead of saying, "Oh yeah, I love it. I've been here 6 years." Well, that's about me. So you want to make it about them and just let it be natural. And you can also like do like little voice memos on
Mm.
LinkedIn, which is a very underutilized tool because
Mhm.
in sales, you have to get their attention before you can sell them. So if you're doing something different, I've done this and you could do it from your phone. So you send a voice memo to someone and they're like, "Oh, what's this?" And then they click it and then they can hear your voice. And that's a whole new level of connection. And a lot of times they'll say, "Oh my goodness, I didn't even know you could do that." You've just added value to them.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's great advice. Kayla and I know all about the voice memos. We're big fans of the voice memo.
Yeah.
On all
Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah,
Faster. It's faster. You don't have the embarrassing typos, all the things.
totally.
So you kind of touched on time blocking, the voice memos. Are there any other tools, templates, or time-saving systems that you swear by when it comes to LinkedIn and time management?
Yeah. I mean, so the other one I would say is when you are following up with your new connections, you want to have like a standard script, a simple standard script that you can just rinse and repeat and copy and paste. So like I get anywhere from like 30 to 50 new connections every week. I'm not going to send 30 to 50 unique messages to those people.
Mhm.
So I have just a basic thing, Kayla, thank you so much for connecting. Hope 2025 is off to a great start. I look forward to learning more from you here. Tracy, email, phone number. So like I have that in my Google Calendar. And every week I track my numbers. So how many connections do I have? And then I just go and copy that scripted message. And the only thing I need to type for my new connections is their first name. Hi, Lindsay, copy paste. Hi, Lindsay, Kayla, copy paste. So that way I can get it done efficiently. The third party apps, where you can plug in all your messages and there's a sequence of them. This is what I would say about that. Like, do you guys know when you're getting some of those canned things? Right. So we all know. So they don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, they don't work. So
They are definitely sus.
Yeah.
Very
Lindsay and I were talking earlier today. I had somebody connect with me on LinkedIn, and it seemed like a genuine connection. And the conversation started, and he was originally just trying to have a conversation with me, and I kind of caught on quickly to where this was going. And eventually, I get the sales pitch, and
yes.
I can help you scale your business to 100K a month. That's great. I'm okay right now. Thank you. And he kept coming at me. So I said, "What makes you different than the other 100 people coming to me with the same message?" And, gave me another sales pitch. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Not fun.
No, I usually like unfriend and disconnect with those people. And the good thing is they don't get notified when you do that. A lot of people will connect to you to get access to your network. I think you're doing your own network a favor when you do disconnect, unfollow, unconnect, disconnect, whatever, and if needed, block some of the people who are just going to spam your
Yeah,
network.
that's a really good
So
point.
true. Yeah.
I will say this with LinkedIn. I mentioned that I worked for a tax attorney for just a short stint, just on a project, sales project, and we were able to sell over $500,000 in services in 4 months. And half of those clients came from a conversation that started on LinkedIn. So huge money on the table for all of us.
I was just about to ask you if you could share a favorite client success story, and it sounds like that's one.
Yeah. So that's when I was doing business development for someone else. And I don't know if you've ever done this, but if you do like a client audit and write down the name of like your last 25 customers and where did they come from?
Mm.
And so I did that recently. And so 16% of my current customers came from a conversation that started on LinkedIn.
Wow.
So, and that's something you can do from anywhere, right?
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think LinkedIn is something that a platform that people go to do their homework on you. I had a client come to me, this is a while back now, but I had no one in common with them. They just cold outreach to me, wanted to do a social media strategy, and we ended up working together for about a year. And I said, "How did you find me?" And they said, "We found you on LinkedIn." You
Yeah.
we did a search for social media strategy consultants, and you came up, and you were the one we wanted to go with. And I was like, wow, that's great to
Yeah,
hear.
absolutely. One of the members of 317 Mastermind in Nashville, it's so we met each other through LinkedIn. He's a wealth advisor. I'm like, I already have a wealth advisor. I don't need you, basically. And we ended up having a Zoom call and realized how much we had in common. We met for coffee, and he was one of the founding members of 317 Mastermind and literally just sponsored the third group that started. Paid for the venue, paid for the food. He's like, this stuff
Wow.
is so good. It's like, you just never know.
I love that.
Speaking again on 317 Mastermind, what transformations have you seen from people who show up consistently in those trusted circle groups?
Yeah, definitely. Things that I hear from them is that they love the community. They feel like they have a peer advisory group to help them navigate business decisions with increased confidence. They feel like they're able to make decisions with like less stress and faster. They love the accountability of the mastermind because, every month we're reporting on what we're working on and what we are committing to accomplish. And we're also like talking about that hot seat topic and walking away with a plan. So every month it's okay, how, everyone reports out on the progress that they're making with goals and action items they already had set. But hey, how did that last month's hot seat topic, turn out? So they love the accountability, the camaraderie, yeah, the confidence, the community, and the accountability. I was blown away that the accountability would be so popular. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a big one with founders is just having like even just like an accountability partner and someone to just
Yeah.
kind of make sure you're pulling your weight because it can be isolating as a founder and kind of lonely. So
Yeah, for sure. And an unexpected outcome so soon is that business has actually, happened between members too. Like one group
right.
had achieved like almost $300,000 in business in like 3 months. And
Wow.
it wasn't that they were doing business with each other. It was conversations that they had in the group because we'll go to lunch afterwards for those who can and want to, just continue the conversation. But yeah, another person found her CFO through the group, found like three other key employees, and she's like expanded her team. Like, I don't know, I think like doubled her team. I've also seen people who like one person, oh, I would say wasn't 100% all in, like he was sponsoring this space for us to meet in, but he's like, yeah, I'm going to get you guys set up and then I'm going to go do some things. And then at one point he's like, I think I'm going to stay for the whole meeting. And so now he's like elbows on the table, all in, just huge mindset shift.
That's great. I love that. All right, Tracy, thank you so much for your time today and sharing all this great information with us. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience about anything that they should know about masterminds, LinkedIn, or all of the above?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. This has been so much fun. I loved it. And yeah, I would just say start with the end in mind. Like, know what you really want. Like, are you looking for accountability? Are you looking for community? Are you looking for systems? Like, do you want to do like a bunch of book studies? Like, there are so many options out there for entrepreneurs, like to join, like different communities and things. So start with the end in mind and know what you really want. Like, do you want to increase sales? Like, what's your thing? Be all in on whatever your goal is and be okay with being vulnerable. Like, if you're thinking about joining a mastermind group, um, if you're not willing to really be vulnerable and say things like, hey, we didn't make any money last month. Like, it was our worst month ever. We have no idea what happened and we need some help. Like, you have to be willing to be that level of raw and vulnerable in a mastermind group. So yeah, know what your end goal is, be all in on your goals and your growth, be okay with people being candid with feedback because it might sting a little bit. Sometimes, the hot seat does get hot. sometimes. And,
Yeah.
that's how we grow. Diamonds are made under pressure, right? So, yeah. So those would be my pieces of advice.
It's great advice.
Yeah, I think joining a mastermind is invaluable, really,
Yep.
to a business owner these days. So, so if someone's interested in connecting with you on LinkedIn and not sending a cringe message, Tracy, how can someone get in touch with you?
Yeah, definitely DM me on LinkedIn or visit the website 317mastermind.com. And, the goal of that conversation is to see if 317 is a good fit for you or if there's a better option out there. I mean, my goal is to get people in the right seat on the right bus, and that bus may or may not be 317. So just serving with integrity.
I would also say, based on what you said earlier, if anyone's connecting with Tracy from this episode, maybe put in the message that you heard her on Dose of Social, or she might not accept you.
Great point. Give us a plug.
Don't delete me. Yeah. I'm not quite that cold. I do take a little look first. This has been great. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for joining us and taking the time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tracy. And thank you to everyone who listened to the very end of this episode. We appreciate all of you and hope you learned some great things here about LinkedIn and the importance of joining a mastermind and all the things. So I'm Lindsay Mauk.
I'm Kayla Pearlstein.
And we're out.
See ya.
Bye.